And I'm Morgan,
and we know better.
And welcome.
Welcome to the first episode of 2026, besides the intro episode.
Well,
the first riff episode. Sorry.
The first episode.
I was looking for the word that's not planned, and then I was like, no, it's not coming to me.
Yeah, we don't have much planned, so keep that in mind. We are dressed up. You guys haven't seen that in a while. Do we look good?
Yeah. Do we look gayer than previous?
Can we get a section for a mog for future edits?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1,
Count us down.
2, 3. And how was that? Was that good enough? Was that long enough?
Do you guys like how we are going to a gay night and without even speaking, we dress complimentary to each other, like kind of same fit, different vibe?
It mostly is like that, I feel.
We do it every time.
We didn't even talk about it, but it's like either like we're both dressing really femme or we are kind of both dressing more masculine.
Literally every time. Yeah, so we are pretty much probably going out tonight. That's
pretty much probably.
Pretty much probably, depending on the situation in the cities that we'll talk about later. Mm-hmm. But to start this episode, we were thinking maybe try each other's pregame drink.
Yes, so this might be potentially the first drunk episode that we have.
There are 3 shots in here of vodka.
And mine's a cut, but it's cut.
And she's drinking a cut water, so...
Yeah, I'm drinking cut water, but it is... I did cut it with some Sprite, so it's not as bad, but it's the vodka mule. And I will say, I've tried the other ones that people like. I guess I haven't tried the lemon drop martini, which a lot of people like. But I don't think I would like it. I've tried...
The mango margarita one is rancid.
Yeah, I tried the strawberry margarita one, and it was gross. Long Island iced tea one I tried, that was horrible.
I had a White Russian one.
Ooh, no.
Scary.
No. So,
but I never cut them. I didn't know you were supposed to cut them until Liv's birthday this year when we saw it on an ad.
Yeah. And I didn't cut those either, to be fair. So maybe they would have been a little bit better, but they were just rancid. This, I feel like I did cut it, but I feel like I could drink it alone. It's a vodka mule one. And I've been getting into mules lately. I love the ginger beer. Like, I feel like the ginger really helps the aftertaste of, like, like the liquor taste anyways. But, so yeah. So we're going to try each other's.
Yes. I'll introduce mine after.
You go first.
Okay, here we go.
She was worried that she wouldn't like it at all.
Oh, that's yum!
I told you. She was like, no, I'm not going to like it.
It tastes, it tastes like a mule, I guess that was a stupid thing to say, but it tastes similar to the mules Kevin would make at the college bar that he worked at, but I went to. He worked, at this place called Zino's in our college town, and ironically, it was, like, the gayest non-gay bar. Because we had a gay bar. But, gayest non-gay bar, like, the rugby lesbians were always there, including the one I dated.
Right.
Always there. And Kevin was always talking to bitches I'd be talking to. The rugby lesbian that I did sort of date went up to the bar and introduced themselves to Kevin because they knew Kevin worked there. And I was like, all right, this is getting a little cray.
Right.
But, Kevin makes a good meal. So, mine...
But anyways, vodka mule one approved.
Mine, we're going with the savory. This is a pickle martini, which is composed of 3 shots of vodka, and
the rest is pickle juice.
It's 2-1. The rest is pickle juice.
Yeah.
So it's very, very vinegary, but I can't taste the liquor at all.
I feel like the vinegar.
But I don't think what you're not going to like is the pickle juice.
Yeah, but I just don't like the texture of pickles. I do like a pickle flavoring.
It's essentially vinegar. If I were to cut...
I mean, yeah, it just smells like pickles. You don't smell vodka in it.
I mean, I don't taste any vodka when I drink it. It just tastes like drinking straight pickle juice, though. Isn't it crazy how it cuts it?
It really is. Yeah, you can't taste that there's a bunch of shots. Like, I feel like you could feel that the liquor is in there, but the vinegar, like, it really...
It's crazy.
And you just poured it from the jar, too, so it's like, it's not just like... Can you buy pickle juice by itself?
No idea.
I feel like you probably can, but it's like, yeah, it just tastes like you're drinking the jar.
Shout out, Liv. Thank you for making me try the pickle martini at your place, because Liv was the one who started drinking savory drinks. And she was like, you should try this. You'll probably get sick less. And that's why this time I was like,
True with the savory, because, like,
the sweet is what makes me feel sick.
You. Yeah.
And I really liked it. And also, shout out, maybe this will be a good segue. Shout out the girl I had a crush on in 2016 because she would drink pickle juice straight from the jar and tell me about it. And I'd be like, you're so gross.
I thought you were going to segue into Harry Styles because of that.
Treat people with kindness.
But
Harry Styles' album is coming out so fucking soon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god. Is it March or is it April? I think it's March.
Yeah, I think it's March.
Oh my god. Like, I actually can't. Me and Allie had a full-blown conversation, one of my childhood friends, about how we are gonna gatekeep the fuck out of it. Like, I'm already feeling gatekeepy about him.
Gatekeep? What do you mean by that? Gatekeep the
because
album?
no one understands Harry Styles like us.
Okay,
specifically,
gatekeep the love for
also,
him.
me and Allie have had this conversation so many times. I genuinely, like, Harry Styles, I say that, and I'm, like, mostly joking because there are so many crazy, like, Harry Styles girlies. Like, how could I be number one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm up there, but I know I'm not number one.
Yeah.
However, with 5 Seconds of Summer, I know me and Allie are weird about them in a way that no one else on this planet Earth touches, including my sister, who was into them with us at the time.
Right.
And I say that with peace and love. It's like an internal gatekeep feeling where I'm just like, when everyone's like, you don't get it the way I get it, like, about anything, that's like, but like for real, like, I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
I'm serious and I'm not kidding. Me and Allie had this burner account called Hood Wifeys on Wattpad where we wrote joke fan fiction, like, purposely bad. And we would literally look up random 5 Sauce accounts and start messaging them and just start cyberbullying them.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was supposed to lead into, but
you're just demonstrating like it was quite serious.
Yeah,
for you.
There was a fanfiction that was big at the time called Just Wait Till Friday, and the plot was the girl was like bullied in school, and then she meets Luke, and they like kind of have like a romance for a week. But at the end of the book, on the last day, she tells him not to go to school tomorrow, and then she goes into the school and shoots everyone.
Right.
And like at the time, I was like,
Is
wow.
it a self-insert? Or no?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember.
You never read it.
I don't remember if she's YN or if she has a name.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, isn't that crazy? And then she kills herself in his arms.
Yes.
And like, it's so sad and romantic. And I remember at the time, me and Allie being like, "This is literature. Like, this is so good." And it's like, it's crazy because like everyone else was like reading like After and stuff like that. And I was like, but what if you self-insert, you shoot up the school? And alternatively, also, Allie has this friend in Florida. And she made a group chat on accident of the 3 of us and sent a Callum Hood at it. And I was being funny, but it came off as so serious on accident, where I said, oh, like, she must have made this on accident because, like, that's my man. I thought it was funny. And then she responded serious, her friend. And I was like, oh, my bad. But then we ended up sending some 5 Sauce stuff in there for a few days. And the friend sent some, like, oh, like, this crazy fan fiction. She's like, I don't remember this one. And it was, like, about a girl and a guy. It was, like, huge or whatever. A girl and a guy in 5 Sauce. And I responded with, well, the only fanfictions I read were the band members fucking each other or the girl was a school shooter, so I would not know. And then Allie texted me on the side and was like, you cannot tell people that you did that.
Yeah. But I can't even hate because I wasn't reading fanfiction. Actually, I was reading fanfiction about... I wasn't reading any self-inserts, but I was reading about, like, random men fucking each other that I was fans of, but then I was also reading, like, books that were about school shooters, but, like, those were distributed by the school. Or I guess not distributed,
I feel like,
but,
at that time, similar to how books about suicide and mental health, like 13 Reasons Why were big,
exactly.
but, like, not in a good conversation, in a toxic conversation.
Yeah.
Like, those type of school shooter types were also very popular in a bad way.
Right. No, totally. Yeah, but...
Comment down below if you've ever read a fanfiction about a school shooter.
Yeah, or just comment your craziest fanfic reads. If you're brave enough. If you're brave enough, and be brave enough.
Yeah.
Be brave enough. Because, yeah, if you haven't read about 2, like, straight men with children fucking each other, then, like... Not that that's impossible... But it's like, these are just fans writing about 2 men that do not have any attraction to each other, fucking each other. And yeah, it was sad.
And if we ever blew up one day and people were writing that about us, if the plot was good, I would be so sad. Like, imagine if we got a power outage fic, like a Byler power outage.
No, that would be crazy,
fic.
And I would read it on the pod.
Like, I would be so excited.
There would be a pod episode where we read the fanfiction.
Yeah.
And because you have to protect art, and fanfiction does everything. That's what we were saying, like, Heated Rivalry, like, the Scott and Kip was a Stucky fanfiction, and Wicked is a fanfiction, really. And
Twilight's a fanfiction.
Twilight's a fanfiction. Everything is a fanfiction. Like, that's what the hope is, that the Byler power, not 4th episode in a row where we're talking about Byler, yes.
We said we're done, but it's never done. It's never over.
And we won't even say it, but, like, Bleep, the Bleep show is done, but Byler is always real.
Yeah.
So,
it's never over. The kingdom.
Well, yes. But to say that the power outage fanfic is going to be our future Heated Rivalry type media. So looking forward to that. And that's just how all fan fiction is. So to say that a fan fiction about us, we are going to uphold that and front and center it, because
yeah,
it's like fan fiction makes the world go round. So we have to uplift that.
Yeah. If you want to write fan fiction about us, please do. Or I mean, Aaron one time wrote me a fan fiction for my birthday about me and Fred Weasley from Harry Potter. Like, yeah, there's a lot of options, I think. And I just started writing a book that is inspired. I'm obsessed with the song Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I can see the intro scene for a show about my life, what it was like when I was in high school, and how it relates to those lyrics. Because every time I listen to a song, I have to imagine the music video, right?
Yeah.
But my specific music video is like a sort of intro if I was going to go into episode 1 in like a show about that time period, and I can see it so clearly in my head. However, I don't have any connections to Hollywood, so I ain't making no TV show anytime soon. But I started writing it as like a book. So in a way, I am writing self-insert fan fiction about myself with the intention to publish it as a book, because there are going to be some fictional elements. But
right.
Yeah. Also because I just can't stop thinking about the girl I had a crush on when I was in high school. And that's really what that's a big chunk about what the conflict of that time was, and like trying to figure out being gay and such.
And let's take a step back to 2016, because that's what everyone's talking about right now. Like 2016, bring back 2016.
And I have to say, like, maybe let's not.
And I have to say that I think they just want to bring back the good parts, but y'all don't really know what was going on at that time. I think a lot of it is people, I mean, it's just like how we once upon a time were glorifying like the 80s, or I mean, even most recently like the 2000s, and bringing back that fashion. But you bring back the good elements. You're not bringing back what 2016 actually was.
Let's do like a little exercise right now.
Okay.
You can go first, because I'm posing the question.
Okay.
Bring us through the day in the life of Morgan in 2016. Well, average day in the life, like, just, like, waking up, like, everything that's going on and what you're thinking, what's going on. I guess I'm asking you to tell me about you at that time, but, like, maybe let's make it more
like a
story type and bringing us front to back.
See, the issue is, and I think this means something's wrong with me, like, just in...
Oh, right, that you don't remember.
I don't have good memory of... Like, I have good memory about some random things, but I think in majority, I just don't have good memory of stuff. Like, my friends will be like, remember when this happened in high school? And I'm like, and Ginger just tossed herself off the bed.
She slipped. And she couldn't walk away because she's embarrassed.
And so I don't have a great memory. Like, my friends will say stuff that happened in high school. I'm like, right. Yes, it actually will kick up some memories. But I guess, God, I could talk about that. So, okay, I think... The biggest thing about me, and I was 14 in 2016, and so I was leaving middle school, going into high school. Very pivotal switch. Obviously, middle school is just a big, like, I have no idea who I am or what I am. I was pretty bitchy in high school, but I was, like, I guess maybe, like, kind of pick me girly, but not really even towards boys, just towards other people. Like, I don't know. Or I was just... I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like, in a way, being a pick-me girl also, especially at the time, was almost like a performative way to perform to other females, so that they thought that you were attractive to men, less about whether or not men actually found you attractive.
And especially because, maybe that's a gay specifically, at that time, no men were attracted to me. I never had any middle school boyfriends. And
I had a dream about my middle school boyfriend last night. We could talk about that later.
I never had any middle school boyfriends. I never even had them have crushes on me that I knew of. Obviously, I was having crushes. But none of them were having crushes on me. But then I feel like 14, I started to hit puberty, and then things started to change a little bit. Because I went from being pretty sheltered, not sheltered, but like a middle schooler who was very much still a child, to a high schooler, and all of a sudden I started hanging out with older girls because I was on the dance team. And so I started to get more into the life of, like, what are the pretty straight girls doing in 2016? And what music were they listening to? Things like that. So I guess, I'm gonna frame it in the way of, I was a freshman, so this would have been like latter year. I would wake up, I think like 6 a.m., beat my face. Because if there's one trope about me in 2016, because like I don't remember a lot, and I don't know what type of like 2016 era trends I was really going into, but I was on them YouTube tutorials. I was on those YouTube tutorials. Shout out Manny MUA. Who else was I watching at that time? I don't know. There was anything I could get my grubby little hands on. I was getting makeup recommendations from the older people on my dance team, and that would then include the popular things at the time. Urban Decay palette. Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, of course. Tarte foundation. I use a Tarte. Okay, I also had really bad acne. I'm sure all the makeup was not helping, but I've had bad acne since I was a kid. And so I was like, well, instead of fixing it, I want to cover it. And what do you need to do to cover it? Literally the thickest makeup of all time. I was using Tarte Amazonian Clay, I think is what it was called. Shout out. The fact that I remember this, I don't really remember anything else. I do know my makeup bag. But anyway, so I was getting up early as fuck in the morning, painting. I literally used like a brush because that was big at the time. You know the round brushes? The round oval brushes? I think that was big at 2016 era. And then it would be obviously beauty blenders, but also like a paintbrush, like literally type paintbrush. Mm-hmm. I would paint on my Amazonian Tarte clay. And then I would do full dip brow and mascara, of course, and like an eyeshadow. I would usually do like a halo type moment. Not crazy with the colors. Like enough that you could go, like it looks like makeup that they would put on someone that is in a show that is like, that's their everyday. But in person, you're like, girl, that's a full face. Mm-hmm. Like, girl, you have a full face on. So I would take an hour to do my makeup, and I would wake up and do that. For who I do not know. And then what? I go to school. I was in the advanced math classes, so I was with a bunch of older people, but I would be pretend shy because I'm not shy, especially in school. I'm a teacher's pet. I've always been. But I'm like, the teachers love me. As I started to get older, they still loved me, but I would start to be like, they loved me because I was honest. I would be like, girl, I don't want to do this. And they'd be like, okay. And right. Then, but at that time, it was very much like, yes, I'm the best student, and I would raise my hand. So I was shy in that because I was surrounded by people older than me, but I was still very good in school and also still being a know-it-all and whatever. Well, I would sit my friends at lunch. Actually, they were not even that close of friends, I think, because the lunches were random. I'd sit with the boys that were also in my math class sometimes. What else am I doing? I don't know. That's school, and then afterwards I go to dance practice.
Did you practice school. Every single day?
Every single day except Fridays, because usually we'd have a game. Not weekends, but every single afternoon from like 3 to 5, I want to say. Sometimes we do morning practice if we couldn't do an evening practice. And dance was almost all year round. It went from I want to say like June to February was dance season. And then after that, I would drive to the town where I would take ballet classes. And I would do that. Dang. Or dance classes. Maybe that's why I can't remember, because I was just always so busy. I was never really doing anything on my own. But then if I had free time, I was probably on my school iPad.
It's crazy that you had iPads. We had little Acer laptops.
I know everyone had like Acer or Chromebooks. But our school had an iPad Apple deal like since the beginning of time, which is crazy for a small school, but whatever. But yeah, so I was on my iPad. I was probably at that time maybe playing Minecraft, because we like all illegally downloaded Minecraft, and it was before the App Store got restricted for the high schoolers. Or there was like a shoot 'em up game that we used to play. I don't remember. It was kind of like Roblox, but it was all shooting games.
We would all be playing GTA. Isn't that insane?
On your computers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or some people had iPads at that time, because a lot of time, once we got to high school, a lot of people brought their own laptops as opposed to school ones. But yeah, we'd all just be playing GTA. Fucking insane.
Or be watching Achievement Hunter videos. Probably took up yeah, that's pretty much all I was watching. I wasn't super outside of that. But I was definitely, like, in my room. And that was, like, a day in the life. And then, like, I'd say as I kept going on, like, probably once I hit, like, 15, actually a little bit before, because that story I told you about homecoming freshman year was when that boy asked me to dance, and this is, like, sometimes I look back and I'm like, oh, shit, I was gay before I knew it. Because a boy asked me to dance, and my first reaction was to say no, of course, because I didn't like him, but then literally run away. And I'm not, like, playing it up, being dramatic. I literally ran to the bathroom. So, and then later, a different boy had a crush on me. And that was, like, that was not good. We don't need to talk about that. Like, that, like, it very much been like, a very quick switch to me, at least it felt like, where boys had literally zero attachment to me, and then my body got T in the way that a child's can. But, like, I got a little bit of boobs, and I got an ass, and I
started hitting that first puberty.
I was skinny and athletic because I was in dance, so, yeah, the boys started taking notice. So that's kind of all I remember from 2016. I would really be interested to see my friends at the time that have better memories of me, their perspective of me. Yeah, because I just don't
really remember. Down below if you knew Morgan in 2016.
If you knew me in 2016.
And you're watching this.
Yeah. What was I like? Because I don't really remember.
Morgan sisters? What about your perspectives? I mean,
do they remember? That might be a good question.
Because, I mean, you're the oldest, so you probably seem so fucking cool to them. And, like, especially doing a full beat every day. Were any of your other sisters doing makeup at the same time you were starting to do makeup?
No, because they weren't allowed until they were 13. Everyone had to be 13 to start wearing any type of makeup, and then at 14, like, you could do whatever, and trust me, I was doing whatever. I mean, Kimmy and Haley knew a little bit because they were in dance too, so they had to do makeup for dance, but nothing, that was only for dance. They were not wearing it on the day-to-day. Dance? She did for, like, a couple years, and then she switched to basketball.
Got it. I love when I learn things about your sisters when they're not even present. Yeah. So I like learning their lore.
A whole lore without them. Yeah. But yeah, maybe they do. Maybe Kimmy will have a decent enough perspective if she remembers of me, like, the first 2 years when I was in high school and she wasn't.
In 7th grade when you were fresh. I mean, I guess that was the same situation with my sister and I, but
7th, 5th, and 3rd, which is crazy.
That
like,
is crazy.
The age difference just feels so much. So, I mean, it felt like now it doesn't feel as crazy, but I mean, in reality, isn't as crazy, I should say. But it still feels like that. Like, I still feel like Haley's a 3rd grader when I'm she's a senior now.
Wow.
Haley's a 3rd grader when I'm a 9th grader, and that's
it is crazy that she's in high school still, though.
I know.
To, like, think about, because it doesn't feel that way. Do you know what I mean? But, like, she clocking in as fucking 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day.
No, when she goes to school, and actually, she's like so, like, ahead in her credits. She has, like, a work study she leaves at, like, 1 p.m. I think she goes to school maybe at, like, 9 and leaves at 1. That would be my guess for her. But she's also class president, so she has a little bit.
Oh, okay. Shout out Haley, class president. Oh my god, I can't imagine graduating in high school in 2026. That actually just, like, we're old. We're so old.
Yeah, we are.
Oh my god, I'm turning 25 in a month. I'm chopped.
No, you're not. 25 is gonna be fun. It'll be fine.
If you compare me now to me in 2016, it's like I'm still gay, and I still like 21 Pilots, and I'm still goth. Well, actually, but the thing is, it's kind of like it wasn't like this the whole time. I honestly think I'm, like, completing my cycle back to my 2016
So you were doing what everyone's saying. They're saying bring back 2016. You're like, baby, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Well, because if you were to place me, what I look like right now, in front of 2016 me, I would pass out. Because I would be so attracted to myself. I wanted to have piercings, tattoos, hair, and be able to do I didn't know how to do eyeliner until I was in late college. Mm-hmm. So, like, this was, like, my wet dream at the time that I didn't have capability to do, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But then if you had showed me to, like, me at 18, I would kill myself.
Right.
Because I'd be like, Nick ain't gonna like all this. Nick ain't gonna like this. You need to be, because not to get ahead of, I guess, what I'm talking about, but, like, I hit, like, 2017, 2018, like, I hit junior year, and on my 16th birthday, the week before, I had my hair dip dyed, so it was, like, fucking so awful once the color came out. But that's what I was doing freshman and sophomore year, where it's, like, brown into just block of color.
Is that the picture you sent on the cruise?
Yes, with that fuck ass blonde.
Yeah.
And so what I had did,
I was like, ooh,
and I had braces. So like right before my 16th birthday, braces off, cut in a bob, and then I suddenly realized that all the men were obsessed with me because of my boobs. Like all the men, I got the attention from all the men because they've always been talking about my boobs. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, oh, and now she don't have braces and she don't have fuck ass hair and she don't dress weird anymore and she don't act weird anymore.
Yeah.
And so then I was suddenly like thrust into like extreme sexualization. Yep. And also the validation of that, I just started dressing extremely like wasn't happening in 2016, but like immediately after that, like the level of sexuality, like lowest cut shirt at all times. I was never a belly shower because I've always had a little bit of a belly, so it wasn't really, but like my boobs haven't grown that much since then. So I have always had triple D's. And that was like blowing everyone's fucking mind at the time.
Right.
And so like it was just really like, how can I dress in my public school with like the most boob out at any given time? I don't remember how and that led to Nick being attracted to me, and that led to me and Nick dating, and Nick is a skinny white boy and his family was very white, and the boob thing was what led to me trying to be as appealing to men as possible.
Right.
Like it started this track where it was like that was what it had to be.
Totally.
So like all of this would have never flown. And then you go deeper into me and Nick's relationship, and the first thing I did before I had any tattoos, any type of piercing, I had just my ears pierced, natural hair. I pierced my No, actually, what came first was I dyed my hair black during COVID times.
Yes.
But it was like permanent black, and my hair was always dark brown. So that wasn't that crazy, if that makes sense. Especially because I didn't know how to do any makeup. So, like, I wasn't wearing dark eyeliner or anything. Like, my hair was just darker.
Yeah.
That was, like, the first step, per se. But the first thing that caused the issue in me and Nick's relationship was I pierced my septum with my roommate, Jenny. Because she really wanted to get it done, and she was like, I'm scared. And I was like, okay, do it. Because, I mean, it was like, I went off to college and I did the white girl, trying to be white and trying to have I had a bob and I had light brown hair, and like, if Erin were to describe me freshman year, we've talked about this before, like she could tell that big changes were coming and that I was a nerd, but that I was trying to hide it so purposefully. Because I would wear like, I was really like floral hippie, but not really hippie, like the performative hippie, you know, that very Visco girl kind of vibe. I feel like I was trying to perform out. Totally. And then COVID hit and I was home, and me and Erin joined TikTok that first semester, so second semester home. I'm on TikTok, I'm seeing all the alt girls. It's 2020 alt is coming back, and It was like a switch in my brain when I went back to college, because fuck Penn State, all of the apartments are owned by Penn State, those companies. It's kind of all a front. And they were like, you're still gonna have to pay your rent even if you're not allowed to go to class in person. So we all just moved into our apartments, our off-campus apartments, because that's way more fun than living at home.
Right.
And it was like, I was home all the time, so I could just start doing things because no one was going to see me. And that's the only reason I know how to do eyeliner, because I would just do it shitty, because the only people who were seeing me are my roommates. Yeah. So then my roommate's like, I want to go pierce my septum. And I'm like, sure, why not? Like, who's going to see me?
Right,
Nobody this whole year. And I've always wanted piercings and dyed hair, etc., etc. And they were all like, yeah, you should do it. Nick, meltdown. He had an absolute meltdown. He was like, please don't do it. Don't permanently scar your face. Don't get any piercings. Like, it's not gonna look good.
Scar your face, and it's your freaking septum, so it's like, who gonna see that? That's so funny.
No, for real. He had this meltdown and then woke up the next day and he was like, I didn't mean any of it. Like, do what you want. It's your face. But he didn't mean it, because like since then, I got my first tattoo. All it says is "Loving is the antidote" from Harry Styles' song "Golden." It's maybe this big on my thigh. And he was like, you're changing so much. And like towards the end of the relationship, I would be like, he would ask me to like flip up the septum, because you can't have a full bull ring right off the bat. Flip it up so he couldn't see it. He like just hated it. He hated all these alt changes I was making to myself, and it became so apparent that he didn't like me. He liked
you weren't the cool girl he wanted anymore.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. But we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, he wanted the performance I was putting on. Sorry, that was a huge tangent from 2016. Me.
But it's all true. I mean, you're talking about the genesis of how you've gotten here today.
Right.
But yeah, talk about your day in the life of 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do summer after my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
That's where we're going to go.
Okay.
I wake up and Allie has texted me 40 times in the night just huge chunks of text, probably saying something like, I want Luke Hemmings to fist me, some crazy shit, and then probably sending me like screenshots of Wattpad because she was always reading, like, either I was reading the fanfiction right before her or her right before me, never on par. We were just constantly like in this flow state of sharing back and forth. And then she was probably also sending me like what Harry Styles' moves were at the time. This was No, because One Direction had just broken up. So maybe we weren't talking about One Direction. It was definitely only 5 Seconds of Summer because the next year was when Harry went solo. So we're just talking about 5 Seconds of Summer all day long, like personal. Like it was like we fucking knew them. So, and then I also have another text on my phone, and it is from the catcher of my softball team. I'm playing travel softball. So I spent my whole life playing rec softball, which is just like anyone's dad or mom could like teach you. And then I started doing travel because we just got a travel New Fairfield team for 15U or some shit like that, or 14U, something. And because I had just come off my first year playing high school, and I was on JV because I was fucking ass. I was so bad at softball pretty much all throughout high school. At the end of high school, I was just like kind of dependent. Like you could depend on me that I 80-20 gonna catch the fly ball. If it's coming directly at me, I'm gonna catch it every time. Tricky ones, less so. I'm a consistent hitter. I was just consistently fine. But at least you could depend on me, and I'm not gonna. We had a lot of kids I felt like who were super talented but so temperamental that it's like they're either playing amazing or they're playing so ass. So for me to kind of just be that median, I think was a good balance. But that didn't come till senior year. I trained so hard all of high school to just be able to play varsity my senior year, to just play fine.
Right.
But anyway, I loved it though. I absolutely loved it.
That's what matters, yeah.
So I had joined a travel team right after because I wanted to start actually getting good, because I actually wanted to play at a competitive level in high school. All that to say, I'm also opening my phone to a text from the catcher of said softball team, probably talking about some nonsense BS. Like, she would send me, like, I saw a caterpillar, so I decided to drown it, and I would be like, why are you doing that? I don't know, we were like,
what?
I don't know, I'm just trying to pull, like, random stuff. Like, we would talk about nothing. There was, like, nothing to say, because we talked.
Which you said we're talking about nothing, and you came up with something that a psychopath would do. You're like, and we talked about nothing, and she talked about drowning insects.
Well, it was a poisonous caterpillar, and she was scared about how to dispose of it, and then she just drowned it in a cup and sent me a picture because she thought it was funny. I don't know, sorry, I just pulled something very specific from my brain from talking at the time. But the tea was, me and Allie and this girl I had a crush on had sort of like a trio friend group thing going on, because me and Allie were besties for the resties, and Allie was also on the softball team. And me and Allie were outfielders. So, like, we were best friends, and we were so obsessed also. Not only were we obsessed with 5 Seconds of Summer, but we were obsessed with 21 Pilots. And we were like, no one is getting it like we are getting it. It's 2016. Everyone is getting it like we're getting it. So this girl on the softball team also loves 21 Pilots, but she is, like, very normie-core. Nothing wrong with that, but she was normie-core at the time, and I think she's tried throughout her whole life to uphold this norm. I don't know if... I mean, I haven't, been close to her in 10 years. I don't know if, like, that's just who she is or if it's more performance. But I think I've always perceived it in my life as somewhat performance. She wants people to think she's normal.
Sure.
But I don't know if hey, if you're listening, I don't know if that's true. Please also don't be listening. I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay. But she had heard me and Allie talking about 21 Pilots so often that she kind of became our friend and started hanging out with us a little bit. Not as consistently as me and Allie were hanging out, but, like, she came over for a sleepover at Allie's house, and we were, like, sitting at dinner and on Allie's porch, and her mom had, like, floating plants and was sitting and eating dinner with us, and she just turns to this... I feel like I need to, like, come up with a name because I keep almost, like, name dropping her, but I don't know what I would even say. She turns to the girl, and she goes, "This is where we grow the weed." Like, just off rip, and me and Allie were like, "Girl, what the fuck are you doing? You're gonna scare her away. You're gonna scare her." But, like, we were so weirdly obsessed with this girl, and I think Allie, because me and Allie were just, like, annoying. We were, like, annoying funny. Like, I still think we were so fucking funny at the time, but we thought we were so funny, and we were, but, like, we were also, like, annoying core funny. You know what I mean? Like, where other people who were in on the bit would think we're annoying.
Okay, yeah.
Like, kind of like the Byler TikToks we were putting out, but, like, dial that up a lot.
Sure.
What was I talking about? I don't know how we got there. Why
were
were we
just talking about that
annoying
person, and I don't know. I think you were just talking about you and Allie being obsessed with this person, and that.
Oh yes, that was what I was talking about. Yeah, no, we were weirdly obsessed with this person. Like me and Allie would have a sleepover. It's like my fault though. It's my fault. I just look back on it now, and especially after I told Allie about how I felt at 'cause Allie did not know. Nobody knew, to my grave, nobody in my life knew I had a crush on this girl until significantly later in high school, like probably senior year. And like people tried to get this shit out of me because they would be like, you're so gay. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. I am not gay. No, I don't even look gay. What are you talking about? I don't act gay. And they'd be like, no, you're gay and you're in love with that person. And I was like, how do they know? Bitch, because me and Allie would be having a sleepover and I'd be like, you know what? Like, let's do something so crazy. Like, we should FaceTime her and, like, see if she answers. And we would just call her over and over. It's, like, so embarrassing, like, but also, like, I had such a diehard crush. Anyway, so day in my life, we'd go play softball, whatever. And then me and Allie would one of our parents would pick us up from the game and we'd have a sleepover and just call this girl a million times. And then, let's say we didn't have a sleepover, I would go home and I would lay in my bed and I would stare at, like, posters pretty much exactly like this room, but imagine it's all 5 seconds of summer. And I would stare at Callum because all of my freshman year of high school, I was convinced that I was going to graduate high school, move to California, and me and Callum would just meet and we'd fall in love. And I would literally bargain with him. Like, speak out loud. It's like 1 a.m. And I'm probably still texting this girl and also still texting Allie while this is happening. And, like, I would pause texting this girl and, like, my heart would be, like, racing. And I'd turn to Callum and I'd be like, we're still gonna, like, get married, right? Like, this isn't gonna change anything. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I'm still normal. Like, me and you are still gonna be together. And this thing is not gonna change that. And then I would also, like, bargain with him. I'd be like, it's not gay if it's just one girl that you want to date and marry, right? It's not. I was, like, actually so convinced. Like, I didn't come to terms with the fact or even realize, I think, fully that I was gay until, like, significantly after this part. Till post us ever talking anymore. Like, and then I would reminisce and be like, oh, I miss this girl so bad. And it's like, all right, you gotta face the fucking music. But at the time, I would literally sit and stare at my Callum Hood coaster and I'd be like, it's not gay if I just want her to be sleeping in my bed right now, but, like, in, like, a not gay way because we're not gonna get married because I'm not gay.
Right. Classic.
Right, yeah. And then I would hang out with, like, it's so funny because Allie is gay now as well, and we were both having this, like, discovery about ourselves at the same time, never once mentioned it. And I didn't clock her at all. Like, I didn't think, like, oh, she might be gay. At all. Like, it was just so crazy because it felt so much like it was just happening to me.
Right.
Like, I was not processing that it was, like, happening to other people at the same time.
Your best friend, mind you. It was happening to your best friend.
Who I hung out with 24/7, 365. Which
I think your subconscious is new.
Yeah.
Like, you guys...
Well, we never had to talk about it.
Yeah.
We didn't even come out to each other. It was just, like, eventually when we were both in college, we were, like, having a conversation, and then I don't even think she said, like, oh, I'm gay, by the way. I think we were both like, we know we're both gay, right? Like, that's what it was. And then I was like, hey, remember when we were, like, best friends and hung out? Because, like, we've been best friends this whole time, but, like, 2016 was the peak, like, hanging out every single day, because it was coming off of her 8th grade going into freshman, and then I went into sophomore year, and she entered high school, so obviously made her own high school friends, per se.
Sure.
Never changed that we were always very close friends, but this was, like, peak of our best friendship. And I texted her, I was like, hey, remember that, like, summer, like, when we would, like, FaceTime this person every single day? She was like, yeah, like, that was crazy, like, we were so weird and annoying, and I was like, so the thing was, I was in love with this girl, like, hardcore, and she was like, bitch. And she would be like, you guys literally stayed up playing fucking Mario Kart for, like, hours after I went asleep. Like, what were you doing? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it's besides the point. We didn't. So funny because, like, I actually forced her to third wheel that whole time, essentially.
But in a way. But is it third wheeling if she don't even know? Like, yeah, she's like, oh, we're
just third wheeling if
three good friends having a good time.
Exactly. Yeah. And, like, the whole time, also while I was going through this sexuality crisis, I'm like, surely this has nothing to do with the softball thing. Unrelated. It was very related. The girl was on the goddamn softball team.
You all were.
We all were.
You're not beating the, like, softball is gay allegations. Like, you guys unfortunately prove it.
No, I tell people I play softball, they're like, so you're gay? And I'm like, so the crazy part was softball was the reason I realized I was gay. Mm-hmm. That is the crazy part. Yeah. That's what I was doing in 2016. Oh, and then specifically on August 11th, me and this person went to a 21 Pilots concert as well, and it was it's not to out myself. Maybe don't clip this part. But to this day, my phone password is the day that we saw 21 Pilots in 2016. August 11th, 2016 is my phone password. Yeah, we saw 21 Pilots, and that was one of the first times we hung out just one-on-one without Allie. And her dad drove us to New York City, and he got in this weird conversation with us about how the octopus has no, like, genetic relatives on Earth, and how they're basically aliens, and talking about aliens and how they, like, live in the ocean. Sorry, tangent, but that's, like, what I remember. And that was the last time 21 Pilots ever sang Can't Help Falling in Love live.
Wow, and now you get to flex.
And that, to me, that whole, like, when it was happening, I was like, this feels like a sign from fucking God. You know?
And well, yes.
And all of that to say, well, now it's 2026, and I'm also still not over
it. And still gay.
Fuck! No, because it's like, that's why I'm so passionate about Byler, though, because I'm like, they're like, he got over it. I'm like, no, he didn't. No. Because it's been 10 years and I'm not over it. She could call me up on my phone right now and she could be like, so I'm, like, in love with you. And I'd be like, perfect. So I'm moving back home and packing my stuff. I'll get in the car tonight and I could be there in probably 20 hours. Mm-hmm. And we haven't spoken, like, seriously as friends or anything in years. We still say happy birthday to each other. Guys, comment down below. What does this mean if someone says happy birthday to you every year and you say it back and you also send back to each other a lucky rock, like, consistently for years until she inevitably loses it and claims that her cleaner threw it out? But, like, do you think she actually threw it out? Or do you think, like, that's just, like, you know, like, cut off, like, the end of this kind of, like, weird, like, homoerotic rock sharing thing? And then, yeah. What do you guys think?
What does that mean, guys?
Our friend is convinced that I have not fumbled the bag and that there's hope, and I'm like, that is just not true.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I was hanging out with them last night, and they were like, you should text her. And I'm like, no, I literally cannot. Because yesterday, everyone was posting,
Mind
like,
you guys were watching Heated Rivalry, so it's like, I know what was going on. No, because that was
the crazy part, because it's like, I was watching it, and
10-year situationship, right? No, I know what's going on.
No, exactly. It's not even a situationship, though. It was a crush, well, but like, I was watching it, and I was like, okay, so it's still on.
That's why I'm like,
in my head, I was like, and I'm still valid, though. Because, you know, Shane and Ilya took 10 years to get together, so maybe me still having a crush on this girl is not bad. Not bad, but you know what I mean. Not ridiculous.
It's not crazy.
Right, yeah. Right. I also don't get over anything ever, so I fear I'm not getting over that anytime soon. And I think also my lack of, like, any romantic interest in anyone just reverts me back to, like, the first most extreme romantic interest.
That's fair.
Which for a while, like, that type of revert, I would say for the first year I lived here, was reverting back to Parker. But I'm just, like, so repulsed by his existence, and it's not even honestly him at this point. It's just, like, I can't think about that crush on him and not be so embarrassed about my own actions, because I was, like, whoring myself out and being so fucking obvious about how much I liked him. And there was just no way he didn't know. And in my head at the time, I was, like, being coy or whatever, and, like, oh, I could see us getting together, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, he just didn't want me from the start. From the whole time. He didn't want me, because it wouldn't have been this whole 4 or 5 year fucking saga. Mm-hmm. He always wanted a different bitch. He did not want me. So now, when I think about that, I just get so cringed out by myself that I'm like, I can't even think about that. Like, oh my fucking God. Like, it takes away all my credibility as, like, a person who flirts and dates. Like, girl, stop. Like, you're embarrassing.
I don't think so. But that's also coming from myself, where I've done the exact same shit for a man. And so it's just like, and also now feel the same way of it. But it's just like, and that's just kind of the way it is when you're in your early 20s, I feel like, especially as a bisexual who prefers women. Now.
Yeah. At my 21st birthday, I was so drunk, and he came, and we went out to the bar, and my friends, he was just sitting there, and all my friends were dancing and buying me drinks, and I just stood there holding his hand like this, and just talking to him and ignoring everybody else, and nobody stopped me. Why did nobody stop me? Because that haunts me to this day. I have anxiety about that now, and it's been almost 4 fucking years. Like, that is actually the most important. The letter that I wrote.
But what would they have been able to do? You would have
physically pulled me away. I was drunk.
You would have cursed them out.
I wouldn't have, though, because in my head I was like, me and this guy are having a moment. But if anyone was like looking from the outside, it was probably obvious that I was just all over him.
I mean, I think that's true. I just feel like
I just wish someone like really dragged me by force.
Yeah. You would have thanked them to this day, but I just feel like at the time they made it. I don't know if you would have been excited about that.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just the embarrassment's high.
No, I get it.
All that to say, though, because that Parker is like, I can't revert to that type of crush and yearning for him anymore because of my own embarrassment, I have to yearn all the way back to the girl I had a crush on in 2016 because I've only ever deeply had a crush on 3 people in my life. Her, Nick, and Parker. And I'm not reverting back to Nick because that man is evil. And so is Parker. So now we're stuck.
No, I don't claim that. I've never had a crush ever. And that's that. I've never had a crush. And if you think I had a crush on you, or I told you I had a crush on you, or we even
she was lying.
Dated or had sex or anything like that, I never had a crush on you.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I've never had sex with anyone. I'm a virgin.
No, actually, yes. We are both.
If anyone says they did have sex with me, they're lying. They're gaslighting you.
Liars. Like they just want to hit, and they're like manifesting it. Like that's what it is.
No, because like a lot of people think they've had sex with me and like probably have memories about it, but like it's what's it called? It's BS. It's not true.
Yeah.
What's that fucking meme? Like, babe, it's BS.
Yeah,
it's BS. It's not true. It never happened. I've never had sex with anyone. I've never had sex. Like that's why I have no game now because I'm a virgin. Like it's never happened.
Yeah. 2016, man.
How old were you when you lost your virginity? You don't have to answer, I guess. I guess your mom watches this, so maybe you don't want to answer.
She knows. 17.
I just talked about it the other day. Oh my god, besties.
That's the average age, I think. Technically.
Do you think you could have seen a penis any earlier than that and not been, like, totally scared? Because no. I was scared even then.
I remember the first time I seen a penis, and it was actually...
In real life?
Well, before real life, it was over FaceTime, because this was a long-distance boyfriend.
Right.
And so, I remember... It took a while to get...
I was like, how does that even work? And I was like, maybe I don't want to know, because you were 17, and I don't need to ask that about a 17-year-old
No one needs to know. But I distinctly remember it and being like, whoa.
Did you have your own room?
I mean, I'd seen it on porn and stuff before, but like, yes, I had my own room. But seeing it like live, I would. This is my thing though.
What age did you start watching porn? Like in your own?
Probably like 14, but I was never like.
Right.
Maybe not 14.
Oh my god.
But I would never actually do anything about it. I would just watch.
Yeah.
I would just watch and literally have my legs closed like that.
I have a friend who had,
because I would be, like, feeling the tingling. All I could do was cross my legs really tight. Anyone else?
Yeah, see, when that...
I didn't know how to masturbate.
When that started happening to me, I just started riding horses, so it worked out.
Real.
I had a friend who had a porn addiction and she would just watch.
No, and that's basically what I was doing. I think the first thing, you know what I was doing in 2016? Watching those, like, make out with strangers videos.
Yeah!
With that one guy, I was watching those because it was basically softcore porn because they're making out, he's grabbing her butt, and you're hearing those, like, it's literally silent other than the lip smacking sounds. That was my first introduction to porn.
I feel like the vodka's getting to the bottom. I don't even know if it's strong per se. But it's also, I just got like a fucking seed in my mouth, which was nasty.
Oh.
Can I say something fucking insane?
What?
Like, your reaction, I've never admitted to this to anyone in my life.
Oh my god, first time confession on the pod.
Confession. The first time I ever tried to jerk off in my life, I was watching a Dan and Phil video.
Oh, yes, I did know this. Are you gonna keep that in?
Yeah. I don't care. Dan and Phil are never gonna watch it. And I'm sorry that I did that. I was like 13. Like, I didn't know. I have a lot of confusing emotions about Dan Howell. Like, it's always been that way. Like, I want him, but I want to be him, but I want his gender, and I want,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't watching porn.
Well, to be fair, I was definitely watching porn-related things way too early. But it was more just like a taboo thing, and then it would make me feel hot, and then I was like, well, yeah, and there's nothing for me to do with that, but, like, I know that it makes me feel good.
Do you...
Or feel like, it just makes you feel... I guess I was horny. I felt horny at the time. I didn't really know what that was, but I was like, yeah, I like that feeling.
Do you think, now knowing that you are bi with preference for women, at the time with your first boyfriend, do you think you were horny because you were just a horny teenager, or do you think you were horny because you were into him?
Oh, horny teenager. I know that now, to this day, that, like...
Because I think about that all the time, because I truly think that was the case with Nick.
I know... Oh, my God.
What I think... I definitely, at the time with Nick, was just... I was just horny because I was horny, but do you know what I think the really big piece of it was? I think that I found it attractive how much he wanted me. Exactly. And, like, that's kind of around about the whole, being a woman is to perform, and also being gay and wanting to watch yourself have sex because you find women attractive type of thing. Because I do feel that way as well. Like, I think that's what it was. But then I just, like, I've been celibate for so long. 2 years with women. 4 years with men. I had to think about it. But even with the last girl I hooked up with, she was the one giving, and then I sort of kind of freaked out. So I could not give as well because of my own trauma from my ex-boyfriend, Nick. And so I just, like, need to have sex with a woman, I think, because I want to know if there's, like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. You know what I mean? At the time. I think I was just horny because I was horny and because I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And it was the first time someone was touching me in that way.
Totally.
And, like, the first time I was getting sexual attention that went that far.
Yeah.
Where we were actually doing acts of sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I was actually... I'm pretty sure I wasn't even attracted to him in real life. I couldn't tell him he was hot to his face.
Well, and that's why I'm thinking exactly, like, my own...
But I want to compare it now to, like, having a sex with a woman now.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, do I feel that I've never experienced fairly wanting to have sex with someone because I think they're really hot, and, like, I want to rip all their clothes off because it's them and their body, not because just the act of having sex is what I want.
Yeah.
I just have never experienced that, so I'm curious if I would have sex with a woman now, is that how I'm going to feel?
Two things I have to say about that. One, I was like, that's exactly why I feel like the one boyfriend I had, or I guess my first boyfriend that I had, was long distance. Because it was easier because it was all fake in a way.
Right.
Like, it was all over the phone. There was no actual being with a man every day, having them touch me. And so I think that was also like, well, yeah. But then follow up to that, I feel like in your mind, because maybe I'm just projecting because this is how I feel, but, like, when I remember when sex felt natural and when I felt that, like, desire and yearning, it was because we were already actively in the relationship. But when it first was happening, it was just nervousness. So I think it's just, like, for me anyways, I feel like it's not, like, a lack of being able to feel that, like, desire. It's that the nerves outweigh it. And all I can think about is the nerves and feel the nerves. But then once it starts happening, I'm like, oh, wait. Especially with women, because I respect women. With men, I don't really, I mean, and they usually go for what they want, and then that's whatever. But, like, I just feel like the nerves that are all, like, that's all you can think about, and then it makes it harder to feel that desire because all you can think about is how nervous you are.
Well, that's what I feel like I fucking struggle with so bad now.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
saying.
I can't get... I think outside of Nick, like, before me and Nick got together, I think there's some trauma that happened beforehand that feeds into the fact that I do not feel that I have the power to initiate anything. There's such a instinctive, shameful feeling around that I can't do it. But I also have all this trauma related to being forced to have sex when I don't want to, or perform sexual acts on someone when I don't want to. So, for example, the person I was seeing for a period of time, who I'm friends with now, when I told them how it's like they don't want to come on to me, right? Because they don't want to push me to do, like, they're a good person. So hearing that happen to me, they're never going to force me or make a move because they don't want to force me to do something I don't want to do on accident.
Right.
Or make me feel like I have to.
Yeah.
But then that puts the ball in my court.
But
then there's this other, like, immovable object, which is, like, my entire issue with intimacy, I think. But I also think with Nick, it was so easy in a way because I would just let him do whatever he wanted.
Totally.
And then it's just like I didn't have to think about it. Mm-hmm. And also, I think with sex, I feel like what I wanted when I wanted him, per se, was I just wanted to get off. Mm-hmm. And I wanted someone else to do it. And also, he was really good at eating pussy. So it was like I would rather get off with him right now than me do it myself by myself, because he was fucking great, which you're welcome.
Right.
Exactly. Taught him everything he knows.
No, I completely get all of that.
Yeah, sorry, we got into a really long tangent about our feelings around sex and intimacy and the issues surrounding it. That's, good on us, I guess. Partial therapy.
But that's enough of that 2016 talk and sex talk.
Yeah. My sister's coming on in like a month, and she wanted her topic to be what we were doing in 2016 as well.
Oh, true.
Which I think it'll be fine, because I think what she wants to talk about is the emo of it all, and the Danny Phil, and like gay. I would love to hear her perspective. My gay perspective was so specific to me.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to talk about, I think, more like 2016 culture, because she was like the peak of that.
Yeah.
But all that to say, if you liked this conversation, don't worry, it's gonna spin back around.
Come back. Yeah.
But I mean, talking about getting into some sex and intimacy conversation, my advice today is, why don't I have a penis? And all I have to say is, if you have 30 American dollars, you can have a penis.
Yeah.
I know you can't feel it, and I do feel you on that, because once every few months I have to ask Kevin or JT or someone, being like, is having a boner as awesome as I think it is?
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the pod about a year ago, because I know it's awesome. And I feel you, that person, whoever said that. But all I have to say is, like, you don't have to not have a penis, though. Like, you can just buy one. As you guys have seen on our social media.
True. Why can't I have or what was it? Why don't I, or why can't I?
Why don't I have a penis?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And that's on you. All I'm saying is it's a skill issue, because I know you probably have $30 to spare, and just buy a penis.
Blame your dad. He's the one that gave you that damn X chromosome. So.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not as exclusive as you think it is.
Yeah. You can be, there are models out there, maybe. They also have like the funnel where you can simulate peeing standing up, if that's what part interests you about that as a woman. But I feel like it's probably for the sex aspect of it all.
Right.
Which is just like...
And like, I kind of do want to know what it feels like to have my dick sucked. Yeah, I do feel it though.
Yeah. We were talking about... So... We had to take a break, but we were talking about if we were feeling the liquor, and well, yes.
And I still feel it. I still have so much left.
True.
You don't.
Mm-mm. But this is a whole cut. Then just like a little bit of Sprite, but it's a whole cut.
Well, I will be finishing all of these shots. I don't know if I'll drink. Well, yes. I don't know if I'll make another pickle martini after.
Yeah, I don't know if I will either.
But yeah.
But anyways, next
advice.
Next, I can't speak anymore. Next must recommend. I chose how to stop seeking male validation, and I chose this because I have 2 ideas for must recommend, and now I get to talk about both because I'm doing this in the advice. But first I want to say, I think every woman needs to read Gone Girl. If you've seen the movie, that's great. The movie has great monologues. You need to read the book because they just expand upon that further. Maybe not the book, but you need, like, if the whole idea, if thrillers aren't necessarily your thing, then maybe you don't need to read the whole book. But you need to read the first chapter of part 2. You need to read it. because it really is all just a good commentary on the male validation. And if you've seen the movie, then you know the cool girl monologue, which they kind of describe it, but it's better described in the book, I would say, that men just want a cool girl who they deem as the cool girl. The cool girl is not all the same. There's a general media idea of the cool girl where she, like as is described in the movie, she like is down for beer, she eats hot dogs, she takes it in the ass, she loves giving blowjobs. Like, that's probably true for pretty much all men, but like that vibe of women. But it's not, it's specific to the type of man, where some men like more, you know, laid back hippie girls, or some men more like the more emo alt girls, or some men like, all to say though, it's all their version of the cool girl, and they only want you because you are being the cool girl. So I guess when it comes to male validation, because it is very real that we are taught to seek male validation, and it's just something that we're to compete against other women for, and that we look for and strive to see our own worth. But like, let's strip it back and realize they only want the cool girl version of you. They don't want the real you. They don't want to know you. They don't want to know the real you. They're not validating you. Any male validation you get is not validating who you truly are. It's validating the cool girl that they think you are. If you are getting it. If you're getting the male validation.
The performance you're putting on.
So I guess I think the best way to like take a step back from that is realize men only care about the cool girl. They don't care about the women. They will fuck anything that is the resemblance of the cool girl. So in that way, they kind of want everyone. A fake version of everyone.
Animals and dead people, so.
And then on the other side, men don't want anyone. They don't want any real woman. Sorry if that's maybe crazy to say, because there's obviously men in relationships with women. But like, no, I agree with that. In a way,
they always want a concept.
And I feel like this is true with obviously it's good to be known in a relationship the most that you can, but like they probably fell in love with the version of you that was putting on some type of performance, even if it wasn't like a crazy performance. But even like, no one is being their authentic self when you meet someone for the first time, and when you're getting to know someone, you're not. And so any type of male validation you're receiving is not because of who you are. The only validation that you can truly find is within yourself and in your love for yourself. So yeah. I think that's what you just have to realize, is that like any type of seeking male validation, any type of thing that you're going to receive from a man is going to be fake. It's going to be based on the persona of you. And then if you want to date men, then that's fine. That's kind of just something that you have to accept. And then you can, or maybe the point is, you want to try and be the most real, authentic self you can, and you're wanting to look for a man that your real, authentic self is the cool girl he's looking for, as long as he can also accept the flaws that are going to come with it, because you're a person and you're a human. Mm-hmm. But men are still always going to want the cool girl. They're going to want the girl that is doing what they think their ideal woman would be doing. Mm-hmm. And you just got to hope that you find someone that, if you're dating men, that is naturally who you are, and then they're also willing to accept any of your flaws that come with it. So that's my thought there. I hope, maybe you already know that stuff, but I hope that helps. And just like, it's not like the male validation isn't real in the sense of it, they're not validating anything. They're validating the performance that you're putting on. They're saying, yes monkey, yes, like, I love the show you're putting on. That's what it is. They don't actually give a fuck about you.
Yeah. I guess what I would say, my perspective as well, is I think me and my friend Ryan, we were talking about something the other day about how being your authentic self is so much harder than just being the role that society prescribes to you. And in that scenario, we were specifically talking about gender and gender roles we grew up with, and how me and them have wanted to deviate, and how even if we've deviated in a way that we are more comfortable in our own skin, it's still a bit of a fight to do things that further deviate. For me, example, I want to cut my hair into a short mullet, but I'm way too scared because then I'm not going to be feminine. And they have their own examples. All of that to say, I think trying to not seek male validation, even in I've talked about this a lot, even in a subconscious way where you don't have a man specifically who you want to be validated, but you want to be attractive to the male populace is what I'm kind of getting at. Mm-hmm. I think it is a constant fight, and I don't think that there is a secure way. I think it's something that all the things that Morgan said, like, you have to keep bringing to your mind and being conscious of and thinking through your own performances and what fronts you're putting on and how you're dressing, mm-hmm. et cetera, and really
is this something I want or something I think other people want from me?
And I think, unfortunately, especially for women, it is a constant battle that we just have to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. You have to wake up every day and choose to keep trying, and that really sucks. But if you are struggling with male validation right now, you're not alone. Every single woman on mm-hmm. planet Earth, well, maybe not every single, but I think every single woman on planet Earth has struggled with it at some point.
Yeah.
Even if they have made a peace beyond it, I do mm-hmm. think. As someone who, I don't ever plan to date a man again, even then, I really don't. Even then, I can't even just call myself a lesbian. Even in that example, it's just like this constant thing that I have to fight against. Like, you don't have to be attracted to men, things like that. So, and like, I feel like people perceive me in a very radical gay way, in mm-hmm. like oh wow, she does not care what any man thinks about her. And mm-hmm. like, if that's your perception of me, now imagine me telling you what I'm telling you. I have to think about this and fight against it every single day. With the 2016 post, I posted about having a crush on this girl that I talked about all this pod, and even then, I had to text Morgan and be like, I'm so scared that I'm gonna post this and people are gonna know that I liked a girl in 2016, mm-hmm. and this girl's gonna know it was her. Hey, she fucking knew. I am 99.9% sure. Did you hear what I was talking about and how I was talking about how I acted around her? She fucking knew I had a crush on her back then. And she probably knows it still now. Why am I so scared? So, you know, if I'm so scared, I can't, like, you just have to know that everyone who, no matter the front they're putting on, is fighting against this. Mm-hmm. That is, I feel, what we tried to do as a queer person. You're fighting, I feel like no matter who you are, we are always fighting conformity in some way. That's totally what I was getting at.
Yes, and I think that's just true for really any negative self-talk that you do. Like, let's just do, like, body image issues, which, you know, part of that is within the male validation of it all as well. But, like, body image issues, it's just an act of, like, fighting against your demons. And your demon is the need for male validation in this case, but there's a lot of other them too that people might be facing, you know, negative self-talk from, you know, family trauma or anything like that. It's like, it is just something you have to work at every day and try to battle. That's just the way that it is.
Unfortunate truth, but it is, I do think it gets to a manageable point. I just think that there is no off switch forever, and take comfort in knowing that we are all trying to do it together all the time.
Yeah. Yes, very true. All right.
You can do your must recommend first, because I don't know what mine is.
So, Gone Girl doesn't count because I put that in the advice, but read fucking Gone Girl. Read Gone Girl, or at least text me and I'll send you pictures of the, and you can read the chapter that I am talking about that I think everyone should read. At least. But my must recommend, I'm going to recommend Fear Street. And y'all know why I'm probably been watching Fear Street. Bleep TV show. Is what I was like, I need to rewatch this. I have seen it before. Shout out to my sisters because they were on the trend when it was like popular and coming out, and I was just in the room watching and I was like, huh, that's pretty good. And then I rewatched it and yeah, it's actually really fucking good. You know, obviously very prominent queer storyline. I mean, the whole thing is about is a representation of queerness, and I mean in a real way, because it ties back to witches and witches of it all. And back in Salem witch trials days, women were called witches for being gay. Mm-hmm. and were fucking burned at the stake. So it dives into that nature. It doesn't go. Actually, I haven't seen the other two movies. It's a trilogy, so I can't necessarily say that, but yeah, it was beautiful. It was just it's very Stranger Things-esque. So if you like Stranger Things, you'd probably like it. But it's a little bit cheesy, but it's in a kind of a cute way. Gay prominent storyline. Not, scary in the way that Stranger Things was. Not like there's some jumps. I wouldn't really even call them jump scares. It's just like there's something crazy going on and like it's happening and now I'm scared. But they're not like actively trying to jump scare you that much. Just some surprising moments. And I need to finish the other two movies, but I just thought it was a very entertaining watch, and I really want to see the rest of how the queer storyline plays out. So I think you should watch it. Support queer media. Support the Byler that would never be, because that's the way that is. And if you don't know what I'm referring to the director of Fear Street was married to one of the Duffer Brothers. And I fully believe after watching the first Fear Street that she had a very heavy influence on Stranger Things.
Almost Byler.
Ooh, I said it. I said the forbidden word on that show. On that TV show.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. My rest recommend is the book Braiding Sweetgrass by, I want to say her name is Robin Kemmerer, but I am not positive. But it is the intersection of a memoir of an Indigenous woman and her beliefs and her culture, and how that having to grow up in American society has shaped those beliefs and how she's balanced that, as well as her scientific knowledge for plants, ecosystems, and the world, because she pursued, I think, up into a PhD in botany. But she talks a lot about how the scientific brain and how we scientifically view things is so different from how Native Americans did, and how we need both to really understand the story. For example, there's a whole chapter about why do we consider trees and plants as an it? They are a living being, and they give to us as we give to them. And why don't we think of them as an it, because it makes it easier when we deforest an entire forest and we destroy an ecosystem, because we aren't destroying a person. We are the only people. Plants and animals are not people, they're its. So it is okay when we commit genocide against them.
Right.
And it is the most beautiful book I've ever read in a very long, period, point blank. And it really points out how we have such a Western view of the world. We are so conditioned to view things from our American lens, and even when you think you're stepping outside of it, and I think we all do in our some sort of niche ways, like for us, we have this queer community that makes us see things in a different light than what the cookie cutter of what an American citizen should be,
right,
etc., etc. I don't think there's a single person I know in my life who has viewed it from this lens that this woman is presenting to me. And it is just such a phenomenal read. Shout out JT for bringing it to the book club, because every chapter I read, I'm like, holy shit, I wish I could inject this into every single person I know. And hey, if you know me and you are a book reader, I guarantee I'm going to purchase you this book and give it to you as a present at some point in the next year, because I truly think that everybody on planet Earth needs to read this book. Like, I'm not even kidding. I started as a PDF download because I don't buy every book club book, because if you guys were to turn this camera a little bit, there's about 100 books over here that I have not read that I want to read for my own pleasure. And book club, we take turns. It's me and like 4 other people. We take turns who's choosing, right? So it's like, not every choice is going to be my favorite book of all time. So why would I go out and buy it if it's not?
Totally.
For me, I think, especially having overconsumed books in the year of 2023 that I still haven't caught up on, I want to own books that I could see myself reading again.
Totally.
There's a bookshelf that you guys are resting on right now. Every single one of those books I will read again in my lifetime. And if I don't think I will, I donate them. All that to say, started reading, did our first assigned reading, went out to buy the book after that time, because I was like, I need this. I need to read it again. I need to be able to give it to other people.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it for other people. I already know it. I'm already plotting it in my head. My sister's visiting. She's probably not. She's watching the pod this weekend, so she's never gonna watch this episode probably. My sister's visiting next month, and I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna be like, you and your girlfriend should read this book, so I'm giving it to you. Nice. Like, it was so fucking good. Could not sing its praise enough.
That's awesome. Like I said, 2026 in, more physical books and sharing them.
Yeah.
So that's great. So wrapping up the episode, I hope you guys enjoyed, but we do want to take some time to talk about what's going on in the Minneapolis community, because obviously it affects everyone, community. But, you know, especially us and where we live. And our audience. We want to say before, like, we chose to put it at the end specifically because this podcast is hopefully like a space where you can kind of forget about all that's going on in life. I think that's what it kind of is to us. We just talk and be silly and not think about all the shit that's going on in the world. But that stuff is very real and still deserves a platform to talk about it, even our small platform. So just know that when you come to our podcast, you can expect that a general amount of time, it's just going to be fun and good times, because that's what we're trying to present, and that's the kind of space that we're trying to create, that where it's not just doom and gloom. But especially specifically in this scenario, like, we also have a platform, even if it's a small one, and we are going to talk about these type of things as well. Mm-hmm.
Especially because we want to represent what it's like being a young queer person in Minneapolis, mm-hmm. and to represent that accurately on the podcast, we can't really not talk about the federal military occupation right now in our city, especially considering our mayor and our governor. Mm-hmm. Is that what Tim Walz is? Our senator?
No, governor.
He's our governor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They claim they're standing up for us, but there's nothing changing. It's getting worse per day, and it's so obvious that we are being targeted by ICE, and we are the almost experiment to what sort of a martial law militarized living is going to be. And it's, if you don't think it's going to come to you, you're wrong. We're starting here because we are sort of a progressive city, mm-hmm. but we are also surrounded by, I feel, a lot of what's it called? A lot of more conservative areas. Yes. And I also think Tim Walz himself is a target for the Trump administration.
Well, of course, yes. It's always been, you know, especially since the election, and him being vice president candidate. So yeah, if you probably be living under a rock if you haven't heard about it, but yeah, very heavy ICE presence here, people getting kidnapped off the street,
people getting kidnapped,
our communities being destroyed, because our community, especially here in Minneapolis, we have, I mean, probably in all of Minnesota, maybe not all, because there are some cities that are pretty diverse too, but definitely one of the most diverse cities, and obviously ICE is just targeting people based on racial bias and ethnic bias. It's nothing. No one, like, and with the murder of Renee Good, like, not even white citizens are safe. White citizens who are just trying to help out. So, you know, fight for the rest of our community.
Not even, like, it is about racial profiling and racism, but also at the end of the day, it has become a situation that is literally just about exerting military power and dictatorship and fear over a group of people, over a city, and to prove that they can and that they will, and that it's like you have to, as a person who can, any type of person on this planet, not on this planet, in the city, who could be perceived as non-white or non-straight in a way, or even non-cis man, you have to carry, if you cannot be easily identified without dispute that you are a white person who is just not gonna fight them back in any type of way, you're just what this American society deems as what a person should be in this administration, you need to be carrying around fucking you need to be carrying around your papers like it is Nazi Germany. And yes, I do think the media is, especially Gen Zs, are showing what is happening here, so I don't think anyone is disillusioned, but just know it it is worse than you think it is. Like, it is scary. You can't go anywhere without seeing the vans. There's unmarked vehicles everywhere. There's abandoned cars. People are being ripped out of their cars at traffic lights. And it's like, the reality, like, I am a very white passing person, but I carry around my passport everywhere, and on my arm is my friend's number who is an attorney, because I can't say that if every time I leave my house that I'm not going to get kidnapped, because it's dependent on the person who's perceiving me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to be hired by ICE, and they're all, if you think ICE is not just fucking fucks off the street or in the Proud Boys, white supremacist, racist, like, it is. And they're not being trained at all, and they're basically like how I perceive the police on steroids. And it's up to them. It's up to their fucking discretion. They got into I just read that they T-boned someone on accident because they were trying to get to someone else they're purposely trying to arrest. Mm-hmm. And instead of calling the police and dealing with the situation, they just fucking kidnapped the person in the car. Mm-hmm. Random citizen of the United States. Not that it even matters whether or not you are a citizen. We would be fighting this even if that was the core of the issue. But I think the point is that it's gotten so far beyond that they can't even really use any sort of basis of knowledge, even if that basis of knowledge was never valid in the first place.
Yeah. It's just obviously, it's scary, and it's hurting this community, and people can't enjoy their lives just out of fear of being able to do anything. And these are not, and first of all, I think that our illegal immigrants deserve the right to live happy as well, of course. But it's like, that's not what matters. It's any of our people of color here. It's any of our ethnic people here. It's white people here too that are just
try to stand up
for their neighbors. We all have to live in fear because of what is being put on to us by this administration, who's handling at an arm's length and dictating what should be done here. Mind you, this comes from the party that is very pro-state and pro-state handling all their business and making all their decisions. That's why Roe v. Wade got appealed, because the state should be able to decide things like that, but we have the federal agents here telling us that we need to deport more citizens, and
telling us our choices are get kidnapped or get shot in the face.
Yeah. So we have to acknowledge that. We will put some links in the bio of resources that might be helpful for those of how to help.
How to get involved in the fight against ICE in Minneapolis, as well as if you are a person...
We should ask Helen for some...
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Okay, sorry.
We have a friend who is heavily involved in the fight against ICE right now.
Yeah.
As well as if you are a person... Any person living in Minneapolis, what you should be doing if you are approached by ICE, if they approach you at your home of residence, or if you get arrested on the street. Mm-hmm. And if you are not right now, you should be carrying identification. But links about what to do if it happens to you, and links about how we can help fight.
Yes, and how to help your neighbors, and then also maybe if we find any, I can't think of any right now, but if we find any good, reputable donation services, we can put it in. Every little bit helps. I've been donating to one of my old coworker has a fund where she's doing like Costco runs to help fund drive. And if you saw our TikTok, we went to a jazzercise class, and there was a food donation, like food bank, because obviously people are scared to go to the grocery store and scared to leave their house, and so need type of donations like that. So hopefully we can find something reputable to put in the bio in case anyone is interested in helping out what's going around here, because it feels hard because it's such a scary time to feel. It's easy to feel hopeless and like you can't help, but every little bit helps, even if you can't be someone who protests, because protesting obviously is very helpful for the cause, but not everyone can do it for safety reasons or just like accessibility reasons or things of that nature, which as a part of a revolution, there's many different roles to play. Protesting is just one of them. If you can do it, great. If not, there's other ways you can help, so don't feel like disheartened if you can't be here in the action on the front lines. There are other ways you can help, so maybe we can provide some of those resources to you.
Yeah. And I think that in place of plugging our own socials is a good place to end.
Yeah. Watch one of our other episodes in a maybe happier time.
Right. Yes.
A time when we weren't actively being persecuted. We being the city of Minneapolis. I'm obviously coming from a point of privilege, thankfully. But yeah. Sorry to end, an episode talking about 2016 and sex, and we transitioned to the real life. Well, I do think
it is a little bit funny that you were like, the pod's all about happiness and funny, and meanwhile this episode we're like, so the first time I was forced to have sex.
Well, and maybe you could tell a little bit that our mind is in a place. It's in a certain place.
Well, I just think it's a little bit funny because it is for, and not that we aren't having fun.
I hope that made you laugh.
And that we're also like, I think a lot of it is just us having a productive conversation really too, but I do think it's a little bit funny considering the transition of what we're transitioning from.
Totally. That's just, it's the duality of women though. Like, do you not expect, like, we can be funny and talk about the random serious topics of our life, and we can also talk about serious topics in the day and now. We could talk about anything. We could do whatever we want because it's our podcast, and guess what? We know better.
Yeah. And, the men who always want to comment on our clips and stuff, or we one time got like for women who claim to talk about women and queer stuff, you really talk a lot about men. Made one fucking episode about men. I guess we talk about men on this and in this episode too. All that to say though, well, guess what? Now you got to hear about my first fucking gay crush and how I realized I was gay. So no fucking complaining anymore because I dropped the fucking tea. We do be talking about queer shit on here, and sometimes that queer shit is fun and sometimes it's serious. Because that's the duality of being queer as well. There's a great community that you have fun in, but there's also the horrors every day. Like with most things, but,
Exactly. So...
yeah, so we're gonna go continue drinking, and I actually just saw, while we were talking, that the pro-ICE rally that was supposed to occur in Minneapolis today, like 4 people showed up, and they all got shamed out.
Period.
So we were monitoring the violence on that situation about how if we should go out. It's a weird mindset because I'm scared to leave my house kind of at any point in time because of like what I said. It's up to the interpretation, but I do think the way I perceive war and revolution is just you have to have the community that you're a part of and the good times within your community because that fuels you to fight for another day.
Totally.
So we're gonna go out and shake some ass.
Be with some queer people, yes.
Sapphic night. Well, yes. And I want them to play Green Light by Lorde because that is to me what it was like to be having a crush on the catcher of your softball team in 2016.
What a great way to wrap it up.
And if I were to have a TV show, that would be the last episode. The first kiss, dancing at a high school party to Green Light, and then the other girl comes in, unexpected moment, right at the beat drop, like right at the last part, kiss, fade to black, and now we have to wait to season 2 to see what that means. Guys, I've been thinking about it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right.
Coming soon? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it in 2026. Maybe I'll have it done for everyone to read in 2028. I'll give myself 2 years.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.